So I'm not gonna lie, I had kind of waited to use this thing because I was nervous. I didn't know if it was gonna be any good. What I'm seeing so far, even on this mat, you can kind of see there's like a big difference. Yes, it's wet, but you can see a big difference just in cleanliness and dirt levels that we've been able to just effortlessly remove. Really nice suction, really smooth a claw tool, and it just works the way you need it to. Quick, effective, and it's affordable. So what is it exactly that we're talking about? Well, it's the Better Extractor from Ripclean. They sent me one of their units to test out, and today we're going to demonstrate that product for you guys today. This is a great option for those of you that maybe you're an enthusiast looking for a way to deep clean your car's interior, or maybe you're a professional detailer looking for a more affordable extractor. Let's go ahead, unbox, and take a look at what's in the box. So everything within the box, you can see we have our vacuum hose, we have our water line, and then we also have our sprayer head. And you can see it is really solid, well built, but we do have a nice smooth edge, so that way we're not going to potentially snag any of our upholstery. We have some connectors to make sure that we don't have like huge gaps, so that way it's just easier to get around the vehicle. They also included a carrier handle, a upholstery cleaner, some pet hair brushes, as well as drill brushes. So you're gonna have all the tools you need to deep clean. I'm using my rigid one. We're actually probably just gonna set this one up to use with our Ripclean Better Extractor. But first we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna remove that filter, clean it out, get it nice and clean, and then we can go ahead and get everything connected. So this is their 50-foot water line. They also sell it in a 25-foot length. So we have our water line connected, and we have our vacuum hose connected to our rigid vacuum with a wet filter attached to the vacuum. Now let's go ahead and attach our sprayer and our hose and put it all together. Setup is quick and easy. You just attach the claw tool to the vacuum line, and then once that is fully secured, then you attach your water line to the quick disconnect. And then once that's connected, extend your vacuum hose straight out and then use the Velcro straps to connect the water line to the vacuum hose, so that way it's easy to transport it around the vehicle. Before we introduce any moisture to our upholstery, I want to do a thorough vacuuming. Now, technically, you could use the Better Extractor attachment to vacuum with without using the water, because it essentially is my rigid vacuum. But we're just using a separate vacuum to vacuum everything up first, and then we're going to test this unit out. As always, when you are doing upholstery cleaner, you want to evenly apply your product. Use your drill brush to agitate. Use that foam to your advantage. And then we're going to start at the top and extract. Now, I wanted to actually see how easy this product was to use for the beginner. So once I'm kind of done testing this for the first time, I'm actually going to have my son Charlie use this. He's never extracted before, so I want to kind of see how this is for a beginner and see, is it easy enough for even a kid to use. So just, you don't want to go super heavy, but a nice even mist. Try not to get the glass. Ready? Yep. Right here, get one right here. There you go. And then spray evenly all over this. Get a little bit more. That's good. Now, start at the top. You're gonna have spillage, but that's okay. So move fast. Pull that trigger. There you go. Nice. Keep this part flat on the seat. All right, now come in here. Yep, there you go. Suck that up. Get a little bit more down here. Now this part here, and just go back over it like this. Okay. Keep it nice and smooth and flat.
On everything?
Well, on this part here, just to get that over straight. Now do this section here.
My son is 12 and has never used an extractor before, so for his first time using one, I think he actually did pretty good. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve sometimes when you're using a new tool for the first time, but I was really happy to see him being able to figure it out, because now maybe he can help me more on interiors. But this is a very easy tool for anyone to manage.
What do you like about it?
It's easy to use.
How does it feel on the seat?
Smooth.
Smooth, and is it heavy or bulky?
No.
All in all, would you use this?
Yeah, better than the other ones.
Which ones? The Aqua Pro Vac?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll have you start doing extracting from now on.
Done.
Yikes.
It's only been like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's barely damp. But that seat was almost dry.
That is something worth noting. The Thrasher chemical, while maybe not the strongest, what I did read on their website is that this chemical is designed to help the seats dry quickly. I don't know how they do it, but I did notice that the seats dried very rapidly. And it is pretty typical for most extractors to have water kind of spilling out on the sides, but despite kind of that excess water, we had great suction with the rigid vacuum, and again, they dried very quickly.
So I know that the interior of my vehicle, you might be thinking, it doesn't look that dirty. I don't know if it's actually cleaning. We're just gonna go ahead and do a small strip of this rug for you to kind of see and compare some of the cleaning capabilities and extracting capabilities that the Ripclean Better Extractor has. We're gonna let this sit for a few minutes per instructions.
As someone who has professionally detailed cars for over 7 years, I've used a variety of different extractors, ranging from affordable residential units to extremely expensive professional grade extractors. Now, while your professional grade extractors are obviously going to have advantages with greater water capacity, greater lift and suction, maybe even hot water extraction, not everyone can afford a unit like that, and not everyone needs a unit like that for every detail. If you're working on a daily driver that is in kind of average condition, it's not super grimy, a unit like this is all you're really going to need when paired with the right chemical and agitation. So for those of you that maybe you're a beginner detailer, or maybe you're just looking to maintain your own vehicles on the weekend, I think this is the perfect tool for those types of scenarios.
So I'm not gonna lie, I had kind of waited to use this thing because I was nervous. I didn't know if it was gonna be any good. A lot of the times the interiors that I see, they're really bad. This one obviously is not that bad because I'm maintaining it. I'm not trying to brag about myself. I vacuum my car out frequently, and I try to keep up with it so it doesn't get to that point. But a lot of my customers, they just unfortunately can't do that. So when I am seeing interiors, they're pretty bad. I am actually kind of excited now to use this on a bad interior to be able to demonstrate for you guys its cleaning capabilities and just how well it can work. It's cold water extraction. There's gonna be limitations, but within those limitations, if you wanna see how well this product can work, stay tuned. Make sure you hit the notification bell off to the side, because what I'm seeing so far, even on this mat, you can kind of see there's like a big difference. Yes, it's wet, but you can see a big difference just in cleanliness and dirt levels that we've been able to just effortlessly remove with the Ripclean. Really nice suction, really smooth claw tool, and it just works the way you need it to. Quick, effective, and it's affordable. So for those of you that wanted to know more about Ripclean, stay tuned. We're gonna be demonstrating it more for you guys on nasty interiors, but on this interior, it made very quick work. My interior is all but practically dry.
As impressive as this unit is, as someone who professionally details cars, there are a few limitations with this unit that would cause me to hesitate to use it for every single detail. First and foremost, sometimes I do need hot water extraction just to be able to give me greater cleaning capabilities on really bad interiors. Now, the max temp for the water line is 150 degrees, so you could connect it to a hot water tank, but unfortunately I don't have access to that here. But secondly, as someone who would need outdoor water access to be able to use this in the wintertime when my water lines freeze or it's too cold, that would cause me to not be able to use a unit like this. So that's the two biggest limitations that I would see with a unit like this.
These seats are dry over here, and I just did them like 10 minutes ago. So we're just gonna leave the doors open, and this should be dry and ready to drive in 10-15 minutes. We're done. The seats look great. They smell great, which I'm thankful for because they kind of smelled like feet before. But honestly, I'm kind of blown away with how well this extractor worked. As I was using it, I just kept thinking, wow, this is so much easier to work with. I'm starting to get older. Arthritis is something that I am dealing with a little bit. And when you have heavy machinery, sometimes it takes a lot out of you. This was a breeze to work with. And honestly, I'm looking forward to working with it in the future. It was so smooth on the seats. No issue with it being snagged or getting caught. We had enough water line to be able to get around the entire vehicle. and we had a flawless performance with the Ripclean Better Clean Extractor. So thank you, Trey, for sending this to me to demonstrate for you guys. But I definitely, if you guys are on the market for an extractor and you're looking for cold water extraction, I'm not 100% sure if it can do hot water extraction. We're gonna look into that.
Ripclean did get back to me, and the max temp is 150 degrees for their water line. They always recommend using caution when connecting and disconnecting the quick connects, as brass will conduct heat like any other extractor's brass joint, so they definitely recommend caution. But they also sell a vacuum hose shield protector. That way you can put it around those connections and not get burned when using it, but it can be used with hot water.
Personally though, I think cold water is more than sufficient for 75% of the details or the situations that you're going to rise into. A lot of times the cleaning capabilities are going to come with the cleaners. So Thrasher did a great job. You might need a stronger cleaner if you have more aggressive soils, but again, I didn't really play with it, so we're gonna continue to test out the chemical and the tool to see if this is a great option for you guys to consider, whether you're an enthusiast or professional detailer. But for $225, almost $240 for a 50-foot length like what I have, that's a great value to be able to have the amount of suction that we had with a tool I already owned. I didn't have to go out and buy another vacuum. I already had the tool. Now we just have the hose and the sprayer and everything to be able to get professional level results. So Trey, you knocked it out on the park of this one. Very, very impressed. My seats didn't look that dirty. Let's see, did they actually have, okay. That's pretty gross. I had rinsed this out before we started, so it's not black, which I'm happy to see, but it's definitely not clear. So body oil sweats are gonna kind of be that cloudy color, and that's exactly what we lifted with this. So did a great job. Some of that's the garage mat, but some of that is also my kids and their nasty socks.
Once you are done using the extractor hose and the water line, you can just wrap everything up neatly and then attach the carrier handle to it to be able to easily store and stow the tool.
So my husband's truck wasn't that bad, because I'll be honest with you, we don't drive that frequently in his truck. But the one vehicle that my kids do drive in a lot is my car. And we actually just got done with soccer camps for the week. Both kids were just completely covered in sweat. We've actually been going to the pool as much as we can. So we're wet, we're dirty, we're sweaty. That's all in our seats. And I'll be honest with you guys, my car smells like soccer socks. We're gonna go ahead and vacuum it out and then extract our seats, because I think a lot of the odor is in the seats.
Sometimes there's a running joke within the detailing community that most detailers' vehicles are way worse than their customers' vehicles because we spend more time doing their vehicles than our own. But you can see my car isn't that bad. I do try to maintain it or vacuum it out at least once a month, and I've actually been getting my kids to vacuum it out because the more frequently you can vacuum it, the easier it's going to be to maintain. Now, this is a very quick and easy setup. It takes less than a minute. Just attach it to your vacuum like we did before, attach it to your water line, turn the spigot on, and you are up and running. Now, how frequently do you need to do a service like this? Well, obviously, if you have spills and stains, you can use a tool like this to go after spot removal. But if you're looking to control odor levels on the interior or maybe just reset things, I recommend every 6 months to at least one time a year to help prevent any of those body oils and stains from accumulating and giving you kind of that funky odor that interiors can sometimes have. Oftentimes, your odors are going to be caused from your upholstery having an accumulation of stains and body oils. You can use an enzymatic cleaner if you want to go after odor-causing bacteria, especially if you have milk or organic stains that have been there for a lengthy period of time. But if you are just maintaining and refreshing, a chemical like Thrasher is more than sufficient to be able to help knock down those odor levels and to clean your average everyday stains.
perfumey. So we're using the Thrasher at a 3-to-1 dilution ratio. I am going a little bit heavier because I noticed that it just kind of likes to sit on the surface. It does have a good bit of foam to it, but it's not like heavy residue. You don't want to, essentially leave a ton of residue on seats because that will accelerate resoiling. We're not putting down a ton of water, but what I like is I haven't had to stop once to refill, and I have 4 gallons that I basically can extract until I need to empty my vacuum. If you have a 9-gallon vacuum, you could potentially do an entire vehicle, if not numerous vehicles, without having to stop once, because you're going to have an endless supply of water from your hose and whatever capacity fill you have for your extractor. I think honestly this is right on par with my Aqua Pro Vac, maybe even a step up with suction because of the rigid vacuum. I can see I don't even have my vacuum on, and I've got water output, and you can just see the water is coming kind of right here. So where my vacuum is, I'm going to be able to suck it up. It's not necessarily spraying out behind here. My Mighty, actually, I have a ton of overspray normally, but you can just see we have a really nice even pattern. So we're going to suck that up real quick. So again, really nice suction. I'm not really seeing any cons with something like this when it comes to the everyday vehicle. I think this is more than sufficient, especially for the enthusiast that's looking to maintain their own cars. You do not have to buy a separate extractor. Get a quality vacuum that you're going to use for vacuuming out your vehicle, and then get whatever length water hose you need, and you're going to be able to keep your vehicle maintained, that hopefully you won't actually get to the point where it's so dirty that you need something more powerful. Maintenance is key with everything. Let's go ahead and see just how bad my seats were. Okay, not bad.
It took about 20 minutes from start to finish for me to extract the seats, and on a hot summer day, by the time I was finished, the seats that I had started at were all but dry. So here's what our seats look like after they were done.
So there we have a closer look at the Ripclean Better Extractor. For those that want my genuine thoughts, I think the unit performed really, really well. I was impressed with how comfortable it was in my hand, how well it was made. We've got really quality parts making it up, stainless steel, really thick plastic for our head that we're kind of extracting with. Really impressed with just how well it worked, how quickly it was able to set up. But for those of you that are on the market for an extraction solution, you don't want to necessarily go with just something like a Bissell Spot Pro. You're going to struggle because of the hose length, its water output, its suction capabilities. A unit like this, when paired with the right vacuum, is going to produce exceptional results. And I think it is a great option for those of you that are looking for something to maintain interiors with. So if you guys enjoyed content like this, give us a thumbs up. Hopefully you enjoyed this closer look at the Ripclean Better Extractor. Thank you to the company for sending me this unit to test out for you guys. If you have any questions about my experience, let me know in the comment section down below. But it's a super hot day. We're gonna get the car put back together, and I think we're headed to the pool today. Hopefully you guys stay safe, stay cool, and enjoy the rest of your week. But thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the very next detail. Have a great day.